Hi, my name is Kippany Masters, and I am a student at Midway College. I have a proposal to start a terrorism program for students at Midway College. The proposal will talk about the classes, what could be offered. It could be just one program, it could be broke down to 2 or 3 different programs, but it's mainly about terrorism, counterterrorism, and homeland security. It's really directed on learning the history, the religious groups, the terrorist organizations, pretty much anything that has happened in the past and what can happen in the future. It will talk about, the class will, and so does my report, about hazmat, chemical, biological attacks, even domestic attacks. The report talks about what we could offer for the students to know once they take these classes. And it's good for the future. There's so many jobs that are hiring that have requirements for criminology, criminal justice, or public safety, and a lot of them want to know if you've taken a terrorism class, a hazmat class, an emergency management class. So there's so many things that you could do with this class. A lot of organizations, that you have the FBI, you have the DEA, you have the Department of Homeland Security, you have Transportation Security Administration. These are all government agencies that could use you if you have this type of background for credits in college. A lot of times when they hire you, they ask you, do you know a lot of information, or depending on your major and what you want to do with it. You know, with public safety, it pretty much, you know, you want public safety. You want to do anything that has to relate to pretty much government is a lot of the jobs. Transportation Security Administration, you know, that is a lot of security. And it's public safety. You know, you have to make sure that people in the public are safe. And that's what the terrorism class is going to be, for people who want to be in the government, who wants to make a difference, you know, who wants to learn. And a lot of employers look at that. Now, the report also talks about previous jobs or current jobs that are hiring for people who have this type of background. You know, you don't have to have previous employment when it comes to terrorism, but when you have an education, it means a lot. So when they say, have you ever took a class on terrorism? Well, yes, if this program's available, you've learned a lot. There's different types of attacks, there's different ways to clean up, the environmental aspects, you've got health aspects to the people, you know, psychological damage to people who's affected by an attack. So this report pretty much talks about everything and anything that the class could offer. It's even broke down into weeks and what the weeks could talk about. You know, our classes are in 8-week increments, so each week there's a syllabus that talks about, it's in my report, about how what could be offered for each week, so you can get all the aspects of terrorism. And it can be broke down to 2 different programs or 3 different programs, or you can put it all into one program. It's just very helpful for people to learn a lot of things when it comes to terrorism. Because some people, the 9/11 attacks, they think Al-Qaeda did it, or it was from Iraq, or, you know, a lot of people really don't know exactly who done it, why they did it, and they just talk about a religious group, Muslims. You know, that they need to learn the history. People need to learn what had happened, why it happened, and how it happened. Again, that's why we have TSA. TSA is there now to prevent 9/11 attacks, you know, with planes. So there's so many things that you could do. The report even talks about a lot of health aspects, like I said earlier. It'll talk about smallpox, the plague. You know, it could talk about things that could happen, diseases, you know, Bryson, it was a big biological attack. I mean, there's so many categories and so many things you can learn in a terrorist class that you wouldn't have known otherwise. There's going to be grading and assignments. It's in my report on how things will be graded. Pretty much, you have to submit your own work. It talks about, you know, when the weeks were broke down, what could be due. The report pretty much goes in depth on what a student, you know, would probably have to do if they took the program, if it was all crammed into one. This really helps out for people. You know, if you really had a counterterrorism class, I've had them before. I've had some classes at Midway that talked about terrorism, talked about religion, talked about, you know, the previous attacks, you know, and they go all the way back to World War I, you know. There's so many things that people can learn by these type of programs. So hopefully the report talks somebody into having that kind of program. Thank you.